welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
I'm Kiki.
And today we're talking again about Munich, this wonderful city in Germany. So Germany's a great place to travel to because there's lots of things to do there. Kiki, I think you've been to Germany, right?
Yes, I've been to Germany many times.
And what do you like to do in Germany?
Well, I go there for car stuff all the time.
Stuff.
Yes,
Okay.
car stuff. So, I visited lots of car museums. I've visited some automotive builders. So I've gone to the AMG factory where most people aren't allowed to visit, but I was lucky enough to visit. And of course, when I think about Germany, I think about racing. I think about motorsports. So one of my favorite places to visit is Nürburgring, where they have the Nürburgring and the Nordschleife, which is the green hell. And it's one of the most, I would say, it is one of my favorite racetracks in the world. And it's beautiful and it's really fun to drive on. And the coolest part is, because a lot of cars, before they sell on the road, before we get to buy them, they actually test it at the Nordschleife. So oftentimes when you go and visit, you will see all these cars that have these interesting patterns on them because they're trying to hide what the car looks like and they're testing. So you get to see the cars before they're even sold.
Wow, that's very cool. I don't know much about racing, but even I have heard of the Nürburgring.
Well, I know you also love visiting Germany, and you're a big soccer fan.
Yeah, I like to go to soccer games when I'm in Germany. And, my favorite team is the one from Munich, FC Bayern Munich. And I've been to a game there in Munich, and it's great. And you even get to sing the Bayern Munich song after they win with the whole crowd.
Wow, so did you get to see them win and sing?
I did. I saw the ending, and then I said, FC Bayern, Deutscher Meister, yeah, so, like that.
Okay, well, it looks like you need to practice the songs again.
All right, well, maybe I'll remember when we get back to our article about Munich. So let's get into this article, Munich, from the medieval to the modern, part 2.
A little further out from the center of the city is the breathtaking Nymphenburg Palace. This was once the summer home of Bavaria's rulers. Inside, each wonderfully decorated room tells the story of the region's rich past. Outside, the palace's gardens stretch endlessly, with fountains, canals, and peaceful walking paths. Guests can even take a boat ride on the central canal. However, not all of Munich's beautiful buildings date back hundreds of years. The Allianz Arena, opened in 2005, is a spectacular stadium with a totally unique design. It's the home of FC Bayern Munich, Germany's most successful soccer club. And those visiting in May can see the famous team take on Borussia Mönchengladbach, a team known for its exciting and skillful style of play.
Welcome back. Today we are talking about part 2 of Munich, from the medieval to the modern. And in part 1, we learned a little bit about the old part of Munich and some of the things that were left from the past that we can still visit and see. For example, at Marienplatz, we still get to see this mechanical clock. And we also get to go to the English garden for leisurely walks and things like that. So those are things that were left behind from the past that we can still see now. But Munich is not just an old city. So we're going to learn a bit more about it today.
Okay, so let's get back to our article. A little further out from the center of the city is the breathtaking Nymphenburg Palace. This was once the summer home of Bavaria's rulers. Okay, so that's an impressive palace, and a palace is a large and very extravagant, so very, fancy house that is usually lived in by, kings or rulers, as in this case it was Bavaria's rulers.
Right, but it's different. A palace would be different from like a castle because of the way this building is built, right? A palace would be something probably a little newer than like a castle.
Well, a palace is built for living comfortably, and whereas a castle or a fort is built for protection. So it's more about, protecting from attack, whereas the palace is just for living a nice life inside.
Okay, so let's get back to the article. Inside, each wonderfully decorated room tells the story of the region's rich past. Okay, so inside this palace, there are lots of rooms. And usually when we think about a palace, it's really beautiful, right? And of course, the inside the rooms will be decorated very beautifully and very luxurious. So when something is decorated, it's when you want to make something look nicer by adding things to it to look even more extravagant or to make it look a certain way. So for example, during Christmas, we would put up Christmas decorations so that you'll feel like it's Christmas. All right, so an example sentence would be, the beautifully decorated cake looked tasty.
Okay, continuing with our article. Outside, the palace's gardens stretch endlessly, with fountains, canals, and peaceful walking paths. Guests can even take a boat ride on the central canal. Okay, so these gardens that stretch like they have no end. They're stretched endlessly, meaning they just go on and on as far as you can see. And in these gardens, there are fountains. So fountain is a noun, and it's a structure that has jets of water that spray out, maybe in a particular pattern or in a way to look pretty. So these things, fountains, are made to decorate or be nice to look at usually. So an example sentence, let's meet by the fountain in the town square.
And it's really interesting to see that this palace has their own canals. So it must be pretty big because a canal is basically these man-made paths for water, right? They're waterways. And usually the waterway is to help direct water from one place to another. And it also makes for, I would think for a palace, it would make for good decoration. And sometimes when you're on a canal, you can go on a boat and ride through these canals. Okay, so back to our article. However, not all of Munich's beautiful buildings date back hundreds of years. The Allianz Arena, opened in 2005, is a spectacular stadium with a totally unique design.
I've actually been to the Allianz Arena, and it's very impressive. It has, it looks like a big, a big kind of donut.
Okay.
But it actually changes colors for different events.
Wow.
So they have lights inside that can change the color for different events they have. For different sports teams playing there, they can change the colors to the color of that sports team.
So what color was it when you went for the game?
It was red. That's for Bayern Munich.
Right.
It's the home of FC Bayern Munich, Germany's most successful soccer club, and those visiting in May can see the famous team take on Borussia Mönchengladbach, a team known for its exciting and skillful style of play. Okay, so skillful is an adjective, and it of course means full of skill. Well, it means being very good at something. So if you have skill, if you're skilled at doing something, it means you're very good and you can do something very well. So when we talk about a skillful style of play, I mean it uses a lot of talent to be able to do this style of play. They've practiced a long time and they've worked hard to be able to play this way. And it can be impressive to watch skillful play. So an example sentence, the skillful player scored a great goal.
Okay, well, we definitely learned a little bit more about some modern buildings in Munich, and we are going to learn more about some other buildings of the modern era after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续跟着课文游览慕尼黑。下一站我们来到宁芬堡宫，这边曾经是巴伐利亚统治者的避暑行宫。那宫殿里面每一间装饰华丽的房间都诉说着这个地区丰富的历史。而宫殿外面有一望无际的花园，还有喷水池、运河，还有宁静的步道。来看一下 canal 这个字就是指运河、水道。Kiki 老师这时候有提到 gondola 这个字 Gondola， 它可以用来表达意大利威尼斯运河当中那种凤尾船贡多拉。好，那么课文单字 decorated 则是形容经过装饰的。这时候老师有用到 extravagant 这个形容词。extravagant extravagant 可以形容奢侈的、挥霍的或是过度的。下一个单词 fountain 表示喷水池、喷泉。那我们课文接着有提到说，慕尼黑并非所有美丽的建筑都是有数百年的历史，像安联球场是在2005年启用。那这座设计独特的体育场是德国最成功的足球俱乐部拜仁慕尼黑的主场。5月造访的游客还能观赏这支著名球队对战门兴格拉德巴赫队。这支球队是以激动人心而且技艺精湛的比赛风格著称。我们看一下单字 skillful 它是形容技艺精湛的或是熟练的。Matt 老师有提到 skilled， 在 skill 后面加上 ed 则是形容需要专门技能的或者是熟练的。好，那这边有2个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 date back 的用法。date 在这边是当动词，表示推断什么什么形成的时间，或者是确定什么什么的年代。那以下介绍2种常见用法。第一种是 date back 加一段时间，就可以表达是在一段时间之前开始。那么第二个用法是 date back to 加上某时期或年代，用来表达追溯至什么什么。例如 The tradition dates back 700 years。这个传统可追溯到700年前。那另一个例句是 The tradition dates back to the 14th century。这个传统可追溯至14世纪。第二个重点是 take on 的不同意思。那首先它可以表达挑战，与什么竞争、较量，像是 The team will take on last year's champion this Saturday。那支队伍将于本周六迎战去年的冠军。第二个意思 take on 可以表达承担、接下，像是承担责任啊，接下某个工作、任务或角色。例如 Gavin loves to take on new challenges。 Gavin 热爱接受新挑战。第三个我们可以用 take on 可以表达开始、呈现、具有，像是具有某种特征、外观。例如 The town takes on a different atmosphere at night。 那个城镇在夜晚时呈现出不同的氛围。好，接回到课文中。
Another sporty spot is the Olympic Park, built for the 1972 Summer Olympics. Today, it's a great place for fun outdoor activities. Climb to the top of the Olympic Stadium as part of an exciting tour, or relax by the water while enjoying the park's atmosphere. Visiting Munich is like exploring the last 800 years of German history. The city blends the medieval past with modern attractions, which makes it a marvelous place for a magical adventure.
Welcome back. So before the break, we talked about some other places you can visit in Munich. First, we talked about the Nymphenburg Palace, which is a big palace where the rulers of Bavaria used to spend their summers, and it has gardens with fountains and canals. Another place we talked about is the Allianz Arena, which is where my favorite soccer team, FC Bayern Munich, play their home games. So now let's learn a little bit more about some more modern places in Munich.
Okay, another sporty spot is the Olympic Park, built for the 1972 Summer Olympics. Today, it's a great place for fun outdoor activities.
Yeah, I know this is some place that you can reach on the metro system or the underground train system in Munich. And it's a nice place to go to spend a sunny day because it's a lot of green space around there.
Okay.
Climb to the top of the Olympic Stadium as part of an exciting tour. or relax by the water while enjoying the park's atmosphere.
Visiting Munich is like exploring the last 800 years of German history. The city blends the medieval past with modern attractions, which makes it a marvelous place for a magical adventure. So it's really nice to see a city that has both history and so much modern things to do, and it's also nice to see how much they still care about the different places that have meaning. For example, like the Olympic Park, it's somewhere where they hosted the Olympics, but it's still a place where you can go and enjoy an afternoon or do some sports. Yeah, so it's nice to see this blend of things to do in Munich. And when you're blending something is basically when you mix things together. We talk about blending drinks. So you might mix some orange juice with some apple juice and you put it in a blender because you want to mix it well. So when you blend something, it's putting two different things or two or more different things together, and it fits in and it mixes it very well. So an example sentence would be, the artist blends traditional styles with modern subjects.
Okay, and we said that it is a marvelous place. So marvelous is an adjective and it means something very impressive or amazing. So it has this word marvel in it, and to marvel at something means to look at something with amazement. It makes you go, wow. So if something is marvelous, it makes you have that feeling of wow when you look at it or when you do that thing, like have an adventure in Munich. So an example sentence, Spain is a marvelous place to go on vacation. So it's so good that you'll say wow.
Well, speaking of adventure, having an adventure is basically when you go out and you go on an exploration of things that are really exciting. So you get to see things that are different. You get to do things that are different from what you might usually do or see. And when you go to Munich, you can have an adventure because you might be seeing something modern 1 minute, and then the next you turn and you see this beautiful cathedral. So it's really an adventure. And an example sentence is, the night went on an exciting adventure.
All right, well, that's the end of our article, but we have a what do you think question. So Kiki, do you generally prefer older buildings or more modern buildings?
Well, I really enjoy looking at architecture, both old and modern. But if I really have to choose, I like older buildings because I find them to be very interesting because people back then, they didn't have the type of technology we do now, and yet they're able to design such complex buildings that are hundreds of years old and they're still standing. So it's really interesting to see. What about you, Matt?
I like both, but to me, modern buildings are the best just because they're so tall and big and impressive, and I like the way that, some architects or the people that design the buildings put in, elements of the local culture or local elements into the design of buildings to make them more beautiful. And I really like to see, what they can do with these newer buildings and these huge new buildings. I always enjoy to look up at them and marvel at them.
Well, the nice thing about visiting Munich is that you get to see both types of buildings. All right, that takes us to the end of today's episode. We will see you next time.
Goodbye.
下一个景点也跟运动有关，是奥林匹克公园。它是为1972年夏季奥运会所兴建的，现在则是进行趣味户外活动的绝佳场所。你可以去参加刺激的旅游行程，去攀爬奥林匹克体育场的屋顶，或者是在水边放松，去享受公园的氛围。课文最后提到说，游览慕尼黑就像在探索它过去800年的德国历史。 在这座城市里面呢，它把中世纪历史跟现代景点结合在一起，成为一个充满魔力冒险的神奇之地。好，我们看单字 blend。blend 它可以表达融合、使融合、结合。blend A with B 就是表达把 A 跟 B 融为一体。如果在 blend 后面加上 ER 变成 blender， 则可以表达果汁机、搅拌机。下一个单字 marvelous， 它是形容很棒的、绝妙的。它的动词 marvel 可以表达大为赞叹或者是惊讶不已。再来看到 adventure， 它是表达冒险的经历或是活动，是个名词。Kiki 老师这时候他有用到 exploration 这个字，就是把 explore 后面的 e 去掉，加上 ation， 构成这个名词，可以表达探索、探究或者是勘察。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
A little further out from the center of the city is the breathtaking Nymphenburg Palace. This was once the summer home of Bavaria's rulers. Inside, each wonderfully decorated room tells the story of the region's rich past. Outside, the palace's gardens stretch endlessly, with fountains, canals, and peaceful walking paths. Guests can even take a boat ride on the central canal. However, not all of Munich's beautiful buildings date back hundreds of years. The Allianz Arena, opened in 2005, is a spectacular stadium with a totally unique design. It's the home of FC Bayern Munich, Germany's most successful soccer club. And those visiting in May can see the famous team take on Borussia Mönchengladbach, a team known for its exciting and skillful style of play. Another sporty spot is the Olympic Park, built for the 1972 Summer Olympics. Today, it's a great place for fun outdoor activities. Climb to the top of the Olympic Stadium as part of an exciting tour, or relax by the water while enjoying the park's atmosphere. Visiting Munich is like exploring the last 800 years of German history. The city blends the medieval past with modern attractions, which makes it a marvelous place for a magical adventure.
Here's how to play. The host will be holding 3 cards. Each card will have 2 sentences containing a secret vocabulary word or phrase that has been replaced by the word bear. The host will read the sentences out loud for the contestants to guess. Whoever guesses first gets a point. The person with the most points wins. And you can play along too.
Let's play Guess the Bear. I'm your host, Winnie. This is
Austin.
And this is
Josh.
Josh and Austin. Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's get started. Our first one is a verb, 1 word. Belle bared the machine to try to get it to work. Victor bared the ball into the goal and scored a point.
Kick.
Very good. Josh gets the point.
Good job.
It is kick. Belle kicked the machine to try to get it to work. Victor kicked the ball into the goal and scored a point. Don't worry, Austin, you still have a chance, okay?
Come on.
Okay. This one is a noun, 1 word. The bears of the game are simple. Treating people with kindness is a bear Andy lives by.
Rules.
Very good! The rules of the game are simple. Treating people with kindness is a rule Andy lives by. Now we have a tiebreaker, okay? So this next one goes to the winner. It's a phrase, 2 words. Alex bared his bear to keep up with his studies. Failing is okay as long as you bear your bear.
Correct your mistakes.
No.
Can you say it again?
Yeah.
Alex bared his bear to keep up with his studies. Failing is okay as long as you bear your bear. Bear your bear.
Acknowledge your...
Bear your bear.
Bear your bear.
I don't know this one.
Come on, guys, bear your bear right now.
Say it again, say it again.
Okay.
One more time, last one.
Alex bared his bear to keep up with his studies. Failing is okay as long as you bear your bear.
What do you do to keep up with your studies?
Just bear your
Hire
bear.
it to
Right now, you guys need to bear your bear.
Use your brain.
Think outside the box to keep up with the studies.
Come on, guys, bear your bear. Okay, I'm calling it.
Call it.
Try one's best.
Try one's best.
Alex tried his best to keep up with his studies. Failing is okay as long as you try your best. And you guys did try your best.
Yeah.
It's a tie today.
Okay.
I'll live with that. I can live with that.
Yeah. Okay, shake on it. Yep.